You can repeat the passage 3 times and be weeks ahead with your progress, or you can repeat it hundreds of times and still be nowhere.
You want to know more? Let's dive in.
Welcome everyone to today's video. We're the Dimitrov Blay piano duo, and in today's video, as you already know, we're going to talk about
mindful repetition. So let's look at 2 categories of practicing: mindless repetition and mindful repetition. So if you look at mindless repetition, which is what most students do, it is repetition without taking a break, without thinking what can be better, without listening also to what you have been playing. But how do you go from mindless repetition to mindful repetition? It's very easy, and all you have to do is ask yourself one question: what can be better this time? And in order for this question to work, you need to take time to ask yourself this question, and you need to listen very carefully to what you're playing.
I think that all this sounds very simple, but it took us quite a long time to be able to figure it out. So we'll give you some guidelines right now in the video, and if you follow those guidelines, you will see big changes and big improvements in your piano practice. So of course, very simply, if you start repeating a passage and if you ask yourself what can be better, you might not necessarily know the answer to that. And so we are going to give you 3 different points, 3 different sort of guidelines that you can just refer to when you ask the question.
So the first thing would be to choose a goal, and we've got 3 goals for you. You can be focused on technique, you can be focused on rhythm, and you can be focused on musicality.
So let's start with technique. You repeat a certain passage and then you ask yourself what can be better in terms of technique today. Then you repeat the passage and you can observe. Are you relaxed enough? Are your notes even enough? Are you being very stiff? Are you playing too fast? What's your tempo? All those things are going to connect you better and better to the question, what can be better in terms of my repetitions? All that being connected to technique.
So you can also repeat and have the goal in mind to focus on rhythm. You're going to do your repetitions, so you're going to focus, for example, am I rushing? Am I playing rhythmically? Are my 16th notes exactly 2 times as fast as my 8th notes? Do I actually know what is the time signature? Do I know how many beats are there in the bar? Do I know where the strong beats are? These are all questions that you could be asking whenever you're repeating your passage, when you're focused on rhythm.
And the last question, let's say on the 3rd day of your practice of that particular piece, you're going to decide that you are going to repeat with the idea of musicality in mind. And then you're going to ask every single repetition, be it 3, 5, 10 repetitions, that doesn't matter. You're going to ask every single repetition, what can be better in terms of musicality? Am I phrasing well? Am I playing evenly? Because even playing without having unnecessary accents is going to make your playing much more musical. And so you can think of all sorts of things that are connected to musicality that are going to make the playing beautiful. And with each repetition, you're going to improve something. And you know, here we are mentioning several different points from each of these 3 aspects of your practice. We're mentioning different points, but even if you improve only 2, that's going to be enough, because next time you can focus on 2 more and 2 more, so you don't have to cover everything with each repetition. You can even have 5 repetitions and think about, how can I make this more lyrical? And all 5 repetitions can go into that being more and more lyrical, or 5 repetitions into having less and less random accents. All you want is to cover these 3 points: technique, rhythm, and musicality. You want to cover them, and within those 3 points, you want to just cover as many as you can that are connected to those 3 points. You don't have to cover everything at once. Don't overwhelm yourself.
The more you practice mindful repetition, the more things you'll start hearing. I used to be very concerned in the past when I was studying in the conservatory that I heard a fraction of what my teacher heard, but all of that simply comes with practice. You will start hearing more and more when you're practicing mindful repetition. One more thing that you can do, because we did mention a few points in these, like technique, rhythm, and musicality, you can also brainstorm, write down on a piece of paper. For example, if you think about musicality, you might think about dynamics, or you might think about any other points that we didn't mention yet. You might have a little paper next to you on the piano, highlighting all those things that you think about when you think about these three things. And in that way, you have even more guidelines that you could listen to while you're repeating.
Anyway, this is what we wanted to talk to you about in this video, and we hope that this is going to be useful. We're actually quite sure that if you apply those guidelines that we're giving you, you're going to have a wonderful result with your practice. But if you have any further questions about this topic or any other topic that is important to you, feel free to let us know in the comments down below. And if you want to follow us on Facebook, Instagram or TikTok, please do so. We'll be happy to see you there as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. For us, as always, recording it for you was a great pleasure. See you in the next one.